Time for the Wimmera Footy Report. You've heard about the Southern Mallee Giants and Coleman Shack, how cock-a-hoovy was about the big win over Minyip Matoa. Joining us to give us the wider view of Wimmera is Scotty Stewart from the Warrack Herald. And hey, Scotty, how are you?
Yeah, how are you, Wayne? Going well?
Going pretty well, and I guess a quick comment, as Coleman's already brought us up to date with the fabulous win by the Giants, 10-14-74 to Minyip Matoa, 11-7-73. How did you see this game and the win by a point by the Giants in what many are calling a great upset for the competition?
Yeah, well, you'd probably call it that. I would imagine that a lot of people would have went in there thinking that Minyip Matoa would have been the favourites. Obviously, they were the favourites because the Giants, they're a new team. They've got some new players and some good new recruits. But they proved a lot of people wrong in that last quarter. It must have been a hell of a game up there at Buell last weekend in front of would have been a huge crowd. And yeah, the Giants have stormed home with 5 goals in the last quarter. And I'm presuming Coleman might have said a bit about it, but I think there was a bit of, not controversy, I won't say controversy, but the scoreboard might have went on the blink a bit in the last quarter. And at the end of the game, I don't think everyone exactly knew who won, but as it turns out, the Giants lads, they've got the chocolates by a point, so good for the competition, and it's been a really, really good game, that one.
Yeah, it was a one-pointer there in the seniors and a one-pointer the other way for Minyip Matoa winning in the reserves, so great stuff all round. Dimbulla 15-16, 106, too good for nil, 10-5, 65, and Dimmy are doing what they're going to do this year, and they're going to win some matches.
Yeah, definitely. They'll be right up there amongst it. Must have been good performance by nil in the first half. The scores were level there up to half time, but fell away a bit in the second half. But Dimmy showed their class, especially in that third quarter, 7 goals to 1, and broke the game right apart.
They did. Ararat did that to Horsham, 11-4, 70 to 7, 13-55. That's 15 scoring shots to the winners and 20 scoring shots to the defeated. And down at Alexander Oval, they played their oval well and kicked the goals they needed to.
Yeah, must have had the kicking boots on that day. I would just say with Horsham 7-13, a bit wayward in front of the sticks, but that was probably a little bit of surprise to me. I wasn't quite sure how that was going to pan out, but by all reports, the Ararat kids just ran them off their legs and come away with that 15-point win. It was a pretty good effort. Yeah,
and just some of the names in the Horsham side. I mean, Hardigan is one that we know, Pope, a couple of them there. I know Conboy is still in their side, but a lot of new names I've seen this year, so maybe after the COVID break and so forth, things have changed for them. But this is the final match. Your boys Stall 2018, 138. An improved scoreline for the Warrack Eagles, 5-8-38.
They probably had that 5-8 in the first 3 quarters. I totally overran in the last quarter there. If you go by the scores, 7-6 to nothing. But the Eagles boys, they just basically they ran out of puff. But Storr were very good and sets it up pretty well for this weekend's round for them. But they had one key forward. They had the coach, Tommy Eckel, who just played a fantastic game, and Cody Driscoll up forward, he kicked 8. He kicked a number of points too, I think, so he could have been pushing the double-figure mark. But the Eagles boys, they battled on well, and Danny Bell in his first go at that senior coaching after the announcement the previous week of Zach Holmes leaving the club with work commitments. Bally stepped up and did a good job. He's still on the sidelines, unfortunately, Daniel, but hopefully he'll be back in the Eagles lineup within the next couple of weeks.
Hopefully. I reckon Mackenzie, 2 goals. Good to see him back. And the kids playing well too. Young Williamson got on the score sheet out of the 17-year-old group. B. Penny is up there playing hard too. Good to see young Hadley playing from the underage group too. And Watts, I think, is the other player coming up to make up those numbers. And Sobey, C. Penny, B. P. Hubner, D. Stewart, D. Powell and J. O'Donnell were the better players for the Eagles. Let's just have a quick look through your grades for Eagles, and I think it's worth doing it because it's tough at the senior level, and obviously the reserve level too. It was a pretty tough outing. I got beaten 14-9 to 3-4, but is there anything that the reserves can take out of that?
Resi's welcomed some players back last weekend. That was a positive they can take out of all that, and I think this weekend is going to be pretty similar, but after those first couple of rounds, they did really well to put two teams in the field, like losing a few players after round one, and then come up against the Giants in round two. But look, the Rezzies, they're going to have a battle all year, like the seniors. But as long as they continue to put two teams in the park, well, that's the main thing.
Yeah, and look, it was a great effort in the 17s. Your lads only lost by a goal to Stall 9-9 to 8-9, just a goal in it. And a really good set of junior 17-year-olds coming through. And as we mentioned, young Williamson, Hadley, D. Watson, B. Penny, all playing up in senior football. So this is a group of kids, when they are going to play in the 17s, even sometime there, are going to win some games.
Yeah, that's right. And last week showed that they doubled up a couple, most of those kids. And as you said there, young Nick Williamson, he made his become about the fourth or fifth under 17 to make his senior debut. And as you said, got himself on the score sheet. And he's a good sized kid, so hopefully he plays a bit of senior footy this year. But as you said, with the boys, they played the early game, and cracking game. The Eagles boys are up by a few goals there at one stage in the third quarter, but unfortunately they just let it slip, and Stall kicked a late goal, and very exciting finish right at the end there. But the Eagles boys, and it depends if they continue to do this, play a couple of games per day. You get to the middle of winter and it's going to wear on you a fair bit, but at the moment, they're going well, and they'll continue to do that.
Yeah, Williamson kicked 3 in the 17s, and Hadley booted 2. Nell Williamson, B. Penny, D. Watts, J. Kazitsky and J. Keane, the better players, the kids that did play up. And then what about this, the 14-year-old group? These kids are a delight to watch for the locals. 11-5-71 to Stall, 1-3-9. A great win by the kids.
Yeah, they definitely was. They pretty well dominated that game from the outset there, and they had some good kids coming through there. And the main thing is they got a good number of them, and they're enjoying their footy early in the morning on Saturday mornings, and to come away with that many. Like the scores, obviously we have mercy rules in under 14s and junior footy, so the kids ended up with a fair few goals to their name, and they played very well together.
They did. McGregor kicked 7 of them, and T. Penny, another one of these pennies, with 3, and Inkster, he got 2. So S. Taylor, Z. Mellings, M. Inkster, K. McGregor, N. Stein and S. Keane. Better players for the boys and the Eagles. Okay, let's get a quick set of tips for this week's senior football matches, and there's going to be some absolute beauties in round 4 competition. One of them's probably not your Eagles boys at home at Anzac Park. You get the great Horsham side. How do you think you'll go?
Yeah, interesting clash there. The Horsham sides, they've got some good experienced fellas in there, but they've also, you sort of touched on it before, they've got some kids coming through from the under 17s 2 years ago, obviously, and they're a young side, and they've got some experience there. You mentioned young Rona Comboy, who's a young veteran, really, joint coach this year, and the Hardigan boys, I think you might have mentioned them. I think they've got Benny Lakin, who's a key defender. He's a bit of a hand injury at the moment, so he might not get there. But hopefully the Eagles boys can just continue to make some improvement. They leaked a few easy goals in defence there last week, but they just want to take their chances up forward, and with a couple of kids back in there this weekend, hopefully, they can put it together and put a bit of a score on the board. But look, Horsham will probably come into this game as a favourite, but it should be a good battle there at Anzac.
It'll be a beauty. Giants get stalled down at Central Park. Your tip?
Thinking the Giants, obviously we've seen those two sides in the last 2 weeks, and as impressive as Stall was last weekend, I think this is going to be their big test for what they've done. They're sitting on top of the ladder at the moment, but they're going to have some quality in the Giants this weekend, and you've spoken about it. They'll be chock full of confidence after that 1-point win last weekend, so they'll like their chances down there. But Stall on their home deck, they'll be hard to toss. But I'm thinking the Giants.
Yeah, the Horsham Saints play nil, and I reckon the Saints.
Yeah, definitely. I think Neil showed that improvement there last week in that first half. But Saints, they'll be fresh, coming off a bye, and they'll be ready to go, especially over there at Coghlan Park. So I'm thinking it might be the Saints.
And Dimmy at home, they get Ararat, and gee, this is going to be an absolute beauty. I think match of the round.
Yeah, definitely. After last week with what Ararat did with Horsham and Demi on their home ground, I think they copped a bit of an injury to a key player last weekend who unfortunately might be close to season ending, which is a bit of a blow for the Demi team. But Ararat they'll like their chances. Wide expanses over there at Dimboola and get those young kids running again. But I think Demi might be just still a little bit too strong for them at Siren's end.
All right, Scotty Stewart from the Warrack Herald joining us to talk Wimmera football, and we look forward to the results coming through, and hopefully for the Warrack Eagle boys at home, maybe a win in an upset, which is going to be great if the club can get a win here and there this year. You have a good weekend, Scotty.
Yeah, no worries. Good on you, mate.